Nick. It has been a while, man.
It has.
How's it going?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Isaac. I'm sitting here. Nothing's changed. It has been like quarter of a year since we've released an episode, but literally nothing has changed because 3 months ago, Isaac, we were in lockdown, and now we are also in lockdown.
Still in lockdown, yeah. It is very much so, like here, and that's kind of, I guess, one of the reasons for a lack of podcasts. Like, there's not too much you can talk about when the entire country is just on lockdown. Like, we don't leave our homes. We, just sit at home and stream on Twitch. But you have been plugging the podcast, Nick, relentlessly, which I'm very happy about. You've been getting the word out there. And people have been listening, but then finding out that there have been no podcasts.
10 episodes that are out.
Oh, but hopefully we're going to get some more regular episodes out, Nick. The lockdown, hopefully, is going to end in the next month or so.
Oh, I hope so, Isaac. Honestly, I need a haircut, man. I just need a haircut. Please. I keep saying, right? Lockdown is fine. Is very, very good for not having... Our extended lockdown is very good for not having to do one again. And therefore, I'm like, okay, it's fine, right? I'll be in lockdown. I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to get a haircut. That's all I want. And maybe the gym as well, if I'm like really scratching for it, right?
We needed a company to employ barbers in like hazmat suits to go into people's homes and or just set up like, makeshift tents at the end of streets with like full on PPE for haircuts, make them expensive, but like I needed that.
I'll tell you what we need, right? We need barbers at testing centers.
No.
So you go get your test and then you get a haircut while you're getting your test.
Oh, I thought you were going to say if you're negative, you get a haircut.
You get a haircut.
Oh, no.
No. You get your hair, you sit down, you get your hair trimmed. At the same time, you've got to shove the thing up your nose, Isaac.
Oh, I see.
Question, have you had a COVID test?
I have not had a COVID test. Have you had a COVID test?
I have not had a PCR COVID test, right? I've not had someone give me a test, but I have multiple times done a self-test. They're called lateral flow tests, and they're meant to give you a result in half an hour, right? So I was given access to quite a few of them a couple months ago. I realized that this to me is so old, but actually it's been that long since we've recorded a podcast that we've not recorded one since I've done this. But it's not fun, right? So it's quite interesting. So you give them this box and there's all these components in these boxes. There's some little jars of fluid, and then there's this little weird tube looking thing. And then there's the thing that looks like a pregnancy test, right? The thing that has the lines on it. And then there are these, like the swabs that you put up your nose. So the first time I did it, I was like, yeah, okay, this should be easy. I'm going to have a test. So I looked at the instructions for like a few minutes and was like, all right, yeah, this seems all right. Opened up the swab from its little packet, took the swab out, and it was like, put it up your nose and swirl it around, right?
Put it up your nose. And don't stop until you feel brain.
Exactly. That's basically what it said. So the worst bit is you have to put it out the back of your throat first.
Oh.
And then you have to put it up your nose. So
you take the swab, you put it in your mouth to the back of your throat. You then take it out of your mouth and up your nose.
Yes. Oh. How awful is that?
At least they didn't tell you to do it the other way around, Nick,
Although I'm not going to lie, I think I might have done it the other way around once. I'd be like, oh yeah, that probably should have done that. But so you put it at the back of your throat, and my gag reflex is bad, but this didn't trigger it, which I was quite happy about. So I was like, put it in the back of my throat. And then I put it up my nose and thought, this is all right for like the first 2 inches, right? And then immediately I was like, oh my God. And then you have to like swirl it around. You say you have to swirl it around 5 times.
And then you let go and it disappeared and you were like, how do I get it back?
I accidentally breathed in. Oh no, where's it gone? This is where like I get an X-ray, right, in like 10 years, and they suddenly see like 15 swabs like in my like nasal passage.
You just keep going and keep losing them.
Like, oh no, there's the third one. I'm just trying to do one test. Oh. So you put it up your nose, and immediately I started sneezing. It just triggers a sneeze.
Yeah.
And then my eyes were watering. My nose was running. It made me feel ill. Doing this test, putting that swab in my nose made me feel ill. And then you take it out, right? And the end looks a bit disgusting. And then you take this tube and you pour 6 drops of the liquid in a jar into this tube. And then you take your swab and you put the swab into the tube with this liquid in, and you swirl it around. And you kind of press the swab against the sides of this tube so that you kind of really get all the sample off and stuff like that. You then close this tube, and the lid of the tube has like a little open end on it. And then you flip the tube around, and that little open end acts as like a dropper. So you can squeeze it, and little drops of this mixed solution of your nose and throatness, and the liquid. You can pour quite controlled drops out. So then you take the pregnancy test looking bit, and you put 2 drops onto this special area, and then you wait 20 to 30 minutes, and then it tells you if you're positive or negative. 1 line for negative, 2 lines for positive. Because this was around the time when I went home to visit for Christmas, right? So I was like, I'm going to do a test before I go home, because you can never be too careful with this stuff. So I did it like in total, like 5 times.
Right.
Just throughout my home trip. And every time I'm always like, oh, it can't be that bad. And then afterwards, I'm just like sitting, just slumped on a chair, just like, oh, that was horrible. But yeah, it's not fun, Isaac.
Nick, you're leaving us all in suspense here, man.
So what I was going to say is that if I was getting a freaking haircut, Isaac, I was negative, by the way, in all of them.
That's what I was talking.
It was so. Oh yeah. I was negative.
You're talking about taking the test 5 times and then just moving swiftly on back to getting a haircut.
By the way, I'm not going to talk about the results. Like eyes shifting around. So. Oh yeah. I was negative every time, which makes sense, right? Because holy crap, I have not gone anywhere, Isaac. Literally nowhere. It's been ridiculous.
You took the test 5 times. You're not positive for coronavirus, but you are pregnant.
Yeah, I'm pregnant.
1 line negative, 2 lines positive.
3 lines pregnant.
What does a little picture of a baby mean?
I know. No, it turns out I bought the wrong test and I'm positive. Oh no, guys. I was like, I thought these tests were fairly cheap compared to what they've been saying. Oh, I wonder what would happen.
I don't know. But you ought to get a haircut while getting your test.
I feel like it would take my mind off the pain of getting a COVID test, Isaac.
You think? We could always go to the other side of the coin and have barbers issue vaccines.
That's true.
Go back to a day where barbers, provide medical services as well as haircutting services, and have them just, hit you with a Pfizer vaccine, on the way out.
We've got to try and figure out how to deliver these vaccines in like the most non-obtrusive to your day ways as possible. Because,
you're walking out of a Tesco and someone just jabs you in the arm.
I don't think that's going to have a vaccine in it. But here's the thing. If you conduct a survey and say, what's your top 3 reasons for not getting a vaccine, right? The number 1 will be, I saw too many WhatsApp videos.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Number 2 is, I saw too many tweets.
Yep.
And the number 3 will be, because I have to not go to work, right? Or do something like that. So what we need to do is we need to come up with ways of giving people vaccines in their daily environment.
Right.
So what I'm thinking is maybe, right, if garden centres open again, right, you just have like people just vaccinating garden centres. because old people go to garden centres too. Bingo halls. Always good. So bingo halls.
We're really focusing in on a narrow subsection of the population.
All right. Barbers, like you say. Where else?
Like bingo halls,
bingo
garden centres, maybe like yarn shops, you know.
Timpsons. Where else? M&S. Yeah, exactly. That's what we need. So there you go. That's my offering to the world. Well, it's not my actual offering. It's my advice. Government, if you want to give people vaccines, just give it to them in places where, you know, they'd be anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. There we go.
I mean, you should write in, man. They might take that. You might take you up on the offer.
I'll tweet at Boris and see what he says. Maybe it'll work. But yeah, I mean, I've been looking with bated breath, Isaac, at the when will you have a vaccine calculator?
Oh, I didn't know this was a thing.
Oh, yeah, it's a thing. Yeah. So if you just Google it, it's like UK, when will I get a vaccine calculator? When will I get? Yeah, there it is.
Is it NHS?
No, it's called omnicalculator.com.
Vaccine Q calculator for the UK?
That's the one. Okay, so we didn't put our age. All right.
Age.
21.
75. Yep.
Oh, yeah, sorry. This is the booking system. Age. 107. Are you in a care home? Yes. Are you pregnant? No.
So, okay. Age for me, 24. Care worker, residence, no. Pregnant, TBD. Healthcare worker, no. Unpaid carer, no.
Yeah, there we go. So I'm at age 22. Care home, no. Pregnant, yes, from our earlier conversation. Everything else is no. Were you asked to shield? No. Yeah, my date, Isaac, is between the 6th of May and the 29th of June.
Nick, my date is the exact same range.
Yeah, that's probably because we're in the same group.
Yeah.
Aren't we? AKA the last group.
Yes. Under 40s, you know, not. That's surprisingly soon though, right? Like 3 months maybe?
Yeah. So you'd hope, you know, I mean, my birthday's in April, Isaac, like late April. So I'm freaking hoping that, unlike last year, you know, I won't be just sitting at home eating a Domino's off like a car insurance voucher from a car insurance voucher that I got. I know quite a few people that have had one, actually.
Oh, really?
But I guess that's just because quite a significant proportion of people I know are either in or are training in healthcare.
Right.
So they're all covered by that. And also my nan, who is 86, lives at home. And therefore that kind of introduces a lot of risks as well. So yeah, I know quite a lot of people who have had the vaccine. It's quite funny because my parents, who are due for their second dose in like a week, have been looking at all of these like holiday ads that have been like, you can go to Greece and stuff with it if you've had a vaccine. And they're like looking at my little brother, who also lives at home, who is 15. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're just going to leave you here. Just bye. Oh. Hey, Isaac. So all this talk of being stuck at home and, you know, finding stuff to do. But genuinely, a big part of my life has just been YouTube. You know, streaming twice a week after work. My life is basically work, YouTube, sleep, eat. Right?
Yeah.
So
that's my life as well. But the work is
YouTube. Yeah, exactly. Well, your work bit is replaced by like editing, right?
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
Like record, sleep, edit, eat.
Yes.
So therefore, we've talked about half of that. Let's talk about the other half, Isaac, because if one of the only things you can do at home is eat, you got to kind of experiment, right? And really explore your options when it comes to eating. Because, you know, we talk about food a lot on the podcast. But
I tell you, man, I have been so much more adventurous with my Uber Eats orders over the past like 3 or 4 months. Yeah, I've been trying out.
What have you been ordering?
Just everywhere, man. You know, there's like places I wouldn't normally order from, right? Just because when you can't go out, when you can't do anything, you know, you've got that extra 30 minutes to scroll through Uber Eats and look at what else is there and be like, that sounds nice, I'll try that. And then just grab like a different place that sells different stuff.
Yeah, interesting. It's quite funny you say that, actually, because that's clearly like a trend, right? I think a lot of people are doing what you're doing and are like going wild with the kind of random places on Uber Eats and Deliveroo and Just Eat and whatever.
I think, sorry to interrupt you there,
no,
but I think it's mostly just to, if you, like normally, let's say, you know, for example, you order Uber Eats once a day, right? If you order Uber Eats every single day and in the lockdown you continue, and normally you order the same thing, right? Let's say you order like a chicken sandwich for dinner every single day and you continue to do that in the lockdown, I think you'd go insane, right? Like, I think it's just a way to add a little bit of variety to the days that are otherwise all the same, because you can no longer do anything but sit at home and order food.
Exactly. So, as a result, this trend has been noticed, right, by Domino's, who have now started this ad campaign on TV. Because I've been. That's one of the things that I've been doing actually since lockdown. I've been watching a lot more just regular cable TV. They've started this ad campaign that's like throwing loads of shade at like Uber Eats and Deliveroo. So the premise is it's all these like these sketches of a family ordering like something rogue off Uber Eats or Deliveroo. So one example is
I assume it ends up being bad.
So literally, it's quite funny the way it is. So this is a family of 4, and the dad's like, "Oh, let's get takeaway tonight. Oh, look at this. It's like Nepalese halloumi special street kitchen."
Yep.
And then like a future time traveled version of the dad, like breaks through the front door, right, with his like hair on fire, being like, "No, stop, don't do it." And like the present version of the dad's like looking at him like, "What the hell is going on?" And then the future version with the hair on fire was like, "If you do that," and then it cuts to this like this future scene, right, of the dad ordering from this random Uber Eats or Deliveroo place. And then he's like, "Oh, you order the food, the portions are too small." And then it's like these sketches of all the kids like, "Oh, what's this?" Like picking up all these weird foods. And then they're like, "It was too expensive." And then like the wife was like telling him off. And then they like throw him out of the house because of his preference and what he's ordered. And then he goes camping in a tent, and then lightning strikes the tent, and then he catches fire, and then he has to come back. And then this present version of the dad is looking at this future version of the dad who's just kind of explained what's going to happen. And then he's like, "Oh, Domino's?" And then everyone's like, "Yeah." Oh, it's incredible. There's another one where this girl orders from a rogue place and then she gets stuck in concrete.
Oh.
And then she's this concrete block that comes and warns her past self not to order from Deliveroo. It's insane.
That's the stuff you miss when you don't watch normal TV ads. I forget how just like bizarre a lot of TV ads are these days.
There
are
some insane ones. I think the UK is especially nutty for ads.
Yeah.
Because whenever I've been to America, the ads are extremely corporate. They're so dry. They're like, "Hey, you could get this off," and it's like they're like so literal based. It's like, "Hey, if you order from our restaurant, you can get 10% off, and we're better than our competitors." And then it's like a video of a guy going, "I ordered this pizza and it was way better than all the other pizzas." and then that's it, right? That's the ad. But here, for some reason, the amount of creative control that people have in ads they're all unhinged. There's some insane ones, man.
Yeah, they do go they do go a bit overboard sometimes.
Yeah, they definitely do. But anyway,
it's just a game of one-upmanship, right? Like, you know, someone goes crazy, someone else has got to go crazy, you know?
Exactly.
It just keeps working up. Real quick, I was looking through my Just Eat order page, Nick. I tried bubble tea for the first time the other day.
Ooh.
Yeah. There was like a, you know, it says Japanese restaurant. I don't think bubble tea is Japanese, but the restaurant, you know, here in the north of England, they take a bit of liberty, right, when it comes to which part of Asia the food is from. Yeah. You know, it's not necessarily...
It's just the word Asian, right? It's like Asian restaurant.
Exactly.
Like,
you don't know what you're going to get.
Cuisine, it's just Asian. It falls in that bubble.
That's definitely where we're at. But yeah, I saw a place that had it. I thought, I've heard that. I tried it. Have you tried this?
Oh, I've had bubble tea before, yes.
What thoughts?
So, I've had bubble tea a few times. First time I tried it was 2017. I was in the shopping centre and there was this little bubble tea stall.
Do you want to describe what bubble tea is real quick?
Of course. So, for those of you unfamiliar for what bubble tea is, essentially it is like a tea-based drink that's usually got quite a lot of milk in. So it's very milky tea with tapioca balls in them.
Yes.
So tapioca balls are these little bubbles that I believe tapioca is. I want to say seaweed based, but I'm not sure. They're like these edible balls, right? And there's two types, and this is something that I will ask you about. There's two types of tapioca bubbles you can get. There's ones that you bite into, and it's like biting into jelly. And you kind of bite it and whatever. Then there's the popping kind where you bite into it a bit and then it explodes.
Yes.
Right?
So, quick interjection. Tapioca balls are translucent spheres produced from tapioca, starch extracted from the cassava root. So they're extracted from like the starch of a plant.
Okay.
So the bubble tea that I bought, well, it's weird. A few years ago, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, when I went to the cinema one time, they had like this rogue flavor of Tango Ice Blast that had that second type of ball at the bottom. They were like red balls that, like, you know, when you bit them, they burst into that, like, you know, like a little cherry flavor or whatever it was, right? That was really bizarre. The other day when I ordered my bubble tea, I got the jelly balls, like solid jelly balls.
Cool. Yeah. See, that was the first type of bubble tea I tried. It's quite interesting. You go and you get all these different types of, it's a bit overwhelming. I don't know if you experienced this, but there's all these different types of tea flavors. And then there's all these different types of like added milk flavors or like syrups and stuff. And then there's all the different tapioca flavors. And then the type of bubble you get, either the chewy ones or the bursty ones.
It's too much, right? Like it's just, it's options overload. Like,
I went and I was like, oh my God, what do I pick? So I picked the one that sounded the nicest, and it was very kind of sweet, milky, creamy based, with those kind of more chewy tapioca bubbles. And I tried it. We were trying it. And I was like, yeah, this is nice. It was like a not so thick milkshake. It's like a milk drink, right? With these weird bubbles in them that you could chew on.
It very much so is. Like, it's less... when you Google it, it tells you it's tea-based, but it does kind of taste like almost like an ice creamless milkshake, right? Like it's very sweet. Or at least the one I had was. It's nice. It's a very weird sensation, sucking up little black balls. Little bubbles,
yeah.
With your drink.
You usually get a straw and you suck the bubbles through the straw.
A big straw, like a one that's capable of getting the
yeah.
It's bizarre, man. The one I got as well had this, it had, like, I guess a game or like a fortune cookie kind of thing on the top. So obviously it was delivered, so it was sealed, right?
Yeah.
So they had a plastic cup and the top was kind of like sealed over. And then the idea was you close your eyes, right? And you like jam the straw randomly into the top of the lid, and like it would have like a fortune on one of the like little circles. They had like a grid of circles on the cup lid, right? So you had to like randomly, it was like a fortune cookie style thing, but it was very weird.
That's wild.
It was wild.
So, would you have it again?
Oh, Nick, I've ordered it again since. I've ordered it twice. Yeah, I've been back.
It's into his bubble tea. Yeah,
I want to try a different one.
Interesting. Yeah, see,
yeah.
I was going to say, the next time I tried bubble tea was with the poppy bubbles, and I got to say, I think I preferred them.
I think I would too. Unfortunately, the place I order from doesn't have the option for what bubbles you get.
Right.
But I think I would prefer the poppy bubbles to the squishy bubbles. I always find, I've had it twice. The two times that I've had it twice from what might be a less than authentic, restaurant delivering the experience. But there've been way too many tapioca balls. I've always had like a little pile of them left at the bottom.
Right. I see.
I'm never like finishing off the tapioca.
No, that's fair. I feel like the experience is done when the liquid is done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know if it's just I imagine it's different no matter where, like wherever you go, right? But like the tapioca balls that I get they're not like particularly flavorful on their own. So there's not really like a reason to eat them outside of just the experience of having them there. I assume other places might have flavored tapioca balls to an extent. I have no idea. I'd have to broaden my bubble tea horizon.
Yeah, you have to explore your options, Isaac. You have to become a little. What we need next is like caffeinated bubble tea. E.g., tea already has
right?
caffeine, right? But what we need is bubble coffee. Isaac, that's what we need. I'm wanting iced latte, right, with bubbles. Just saying, putting it out there.
Iced latte with bubbles. I mean, get coffee shops, get on it, man.
Yeah, well, I was gonna explain a very kind of complicated bubble tea, but you replace the tea with coffee, right?
Right.
But actually, that's just iced latte with bubbles in them.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm on my Uber Eats now, Isaac, and it's quite embarrassing.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's KFC, McDonald's, KFC, fish and chip shop, McDonald's, KFC, McDonald's, and now I'm at the 5th of August, 2020. So that's been my few months on delivery apps. But
right, yep.
But here's the thing. So, like you say, getting bored of what we eat, right? I was in a very, very regimented cooking kind of. I was eating the same stuff every week.
Sure.
On Monday, I'd have the same thing I'd have every Monday. Tuesday, same thing every Tuesday. And I was eating the same food, right? Every time I go to the supermarket, go to Morrison's, and I'd get the same stuff.
7 cans of beans.
7 cans of beans.
1 bag of bread.
1 bag
take
of
it
bread.
home.
SpaghettiOs. What else? Ravioli.
Chicken soup.
Chicken soup. Everyone's favorite, right? So, and then I was just thinking, I think I was on the phone to some people, and I was just like, God, I'm just eating the same stuff every week. And I like to cook as well, right? And all of this stuff is like cooked up stuff that I make from scratch. But I was like, I'm just repeating what I do every week, and it's not helping. That is adding to the very repetitive feeling of just working and sleeping in lockdown. So I think about 4 weeks ago, I was like, you know what, forget this. Let's just spice things up a bit. So I've embarked, Isaac, and I'm glad we've not recorded a podcast in the last few weeks because I've been wanting to undertake this experiment up until now. But I have been exploring the world of food delivery boxes or ingredients delivery boxes, Isaac. And it's been very interesting.
I assume we're talking HelloFresh style boxes.
Exactly. So here's what I've been doing. 3 weeks, 3 companies, 3 boxes.
One
result.
Find out next time on the Nick and Isaac podcast.
And now let's move on to our What Day Is It Today segment. So, about a month ago, I was like, okay, right, I'm going to spice things up. Let's just try, meal prep boxes, right? Food delivery boxes. Let's just do it. And then I went on Google and I was like, oh, there's all these different options. There's HelloFresh, there's Gusto, there's a few others. Which one should I try? And then I realized, let's just try all of them because all of them have introductory offers, which are actually quite good. All of them are non-committal. So you're not committing
Cancel anytime.
Exactly. Yep. And
I'm just imagining this podcast being a secret ad for like HelloFresh.
Yeah,
you can cancel anytime. The whole no commitment. This podcast is not sponsored by any of the participants.
No, this is fully impartial. I paid for these, everyone.
And much like when you see a YouTuber making a video on their Tesla, Nick is talking about it here in the podcast so that he can write off the purchase on his taxes from all of these food boxes.
Like, yes, that's £7 I spent. Yeah, I'm going to get £1.40 back. I can't wait.
You see all the time, though, whenever a YouTuber buys a car, instant video, because it's an instant tax write-off.
I didn't realise that was the tag.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
very clever.
Yeah, they do it all the time. You'll see someone buys, it's like tech channels. You'll be like, oh, look, I got this car, and they'll talk about its thing, and because then you can write off as a tax purchase.
I'm sorry, Isaac. I mean, I'm saving up for a car, so in like 4 months' time, and I'm like,
Nick and Isaac
you see
reviews.
a random YouTube video. Hey guys, check out my new Audi S5. Look at this, and then that's it, right? And then we just play some more Minecraft, and I'm like, yeah, here we go, 20% off. Like my hands are like mashing on the keyboards on like the HMRC website. I've got this big grin on my face.
The HMRC website.
It's like a picture of Boris smiling, like this is badly sketched.
Boris is sad because he's not getting the money.
Like Boris thumbs down, and like the URL is like this is realhmrc.co, right?
Boris is like he's holding his pockets out because they're empty, and he's sad. And
oh man, I didn't realize that's what they do, man.
What's that? Sorry.
I didn't realize.
Oh, the tax write-off. Yeah.
Clever.
Whenever you see a YouTuber do a video on a big purchase they've just made, it's likely because they want to write it off for tax purposes.
God. Yeah. Wow. There you go. So anyway, coming back to it, Isaac. So I picked 3 companies, right? I narrowed it down to 3 companies. Mindful Chef.
Ooh.
Which is, a bit of a rogue one, right? Which is a UK, well, these are all UK based, but they're quite a small food delivery company.
Oh yeah, I do see this.
That specialize in more like healthy food, right? But the reason I picked them was because they were the only company I could find that actually do food delivery boxes for one person.
Ah.
Yeah. So the others, the minimum amount of people you can get food delivery boxes for is 2. So all the proportions of food are for 2 people. So I would have had twice the amount of food that I wanted. So that's why I picked this one, because I was like, all right, I can, I don't have to ask the person I live with to join in with me on this. I can just order this box. The second company we went for was Gusto, which is a very popular food delivery company in the UK. And the third,
global international giant, HelloFresh.
Yeah, exactly. So they're the big boys, right? So
how's the bracket gonna work here? How's the battle, the face-off gonna? Did you break it down into categories? Do you have like box appeal, food delivery service?
I've got a freaking list here on my phone, Isaac, right?
Was the driver smiling when he delivered the box? Like all of the
exactly. So I'm going to focus on a few categories. So first of all is the choice, right? Website and choice of recipes.
Yep.
The second is packaging. If you're getting these every week, packaging actually can add up, and the packaging experience can make a difference. The third is ease of preparation and trueness in timings, right? So what I mean by that is if a recipe says it's going to take 20 minutes, will it actually take 20 minutes?
No, is the answer to that question.
No, is the answer.
If you're listening at home,
in some cases,
budget double the time they tell you it's going to take.
Exactly, which we'll come into.
Unless you can dice onions at an ungodly speed, then it's not going to take 20 minutes.
It takes 20 minutes to dice the bloody onion, man. Honestly.
I feel like I need to practice. I don't get these food boxes I used to back in the day. But you see some people and they dice onions so quickly, right? They'll do the thing where they put the knife in at the side and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they bring it up and they go 1, 2, 3, 4, and they've got this plate full of diced onion, right?
I'm not gonna lie.
Are you one of these people?
I'm one of those people. I'm quite good at dicing onions.
For me, I've got no nails, so I get the onion out, and I'm trying to peel the skin off the onion, and then I'm slicing it into slices, just like a normal, into rings, and then I'm turning it on its side and trying to get the rings in. It doesn't work out. It's horrendous.
There's I learned I mastered this off I think it was a Gordon Ramsay video, and he was just here's how to dice an onion. You chop the end off, then all the peel comes off really easily, and then you slice almost all the way, but not all the way, so that it stays together. And then you make 2 incisions in the center, and then you just go dun, 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 and then it's done. And since then, I've actually been quite all right at it. And also, because most of my general day-to-day cooking is Asian-based, there's a hell of a lot of onions involved. Pretty much every recipe I make involves an onion. So therefore, I've probably also had quite a lot of practice as well.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I I'm in a similar boat. Like a lot of the recipes I make have onions in them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still just bad at them. I'm still just bad at dicing the onions. I need to just practice, right? I need to buy like a bag of onions that I'm not going to use, but just practice. Just like spend, an hour just dicing onions until I've cracked it.
I tell you what though, Isaac, I have recently become a big fan of buying pre-chopped frozen onions.
Ooh,
and it's so useful, honestly. Just throwing them into a pan is great. But anyway, I digress. So packaging, trueness of timings. Then there was the portion sizes you're given, right? So how much wastage is there? How much of what you were given did you not use? And then there is ease of instructions, taste, the quality and taste of the food. And then there's a couple other things, which are little other bits that I'll get onto.
Okay. Are each of these like rated on a scale of 1 to 10?
These are not rated on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay. As we go actively here, you can talk about your experience, but if you could give me a rating from 1 to 10 for each aspect.
Okay.
We can come up with an average score, and therefore we can figure out what's best.
That's quite a good way of doing it, because what I was going to do, actually, is to give you like a score out of 10 at the end per company. But actually, this way is probably going to come up with a much more fair version of that, right? Because I'm actually giving it based on the individual experiences. So we'll start with Mindful Chef. So that's the one I ordered first, because it was the only company that gave food delivery ingredients for one person. So I went on there. I picked 4 recipes. 2 were chicken-based, and I believe 2 were fish-based. The range of selection was so-so, right? There was about 10, 15 options, which is all right. Oh, one more category that I forgot, by the way, is price, which is actually quite important.
Of course.
But obviously that comes naturally with these things in general. So, ordered the stuff. Delivery came. Very well packaged. So in these food delivery boxes, you slice open the cardboard box, and in it was 4 bags, right? I ordered 4 meals. And then a 5th bag, which was highly insulated, that contained the ingredients that go in the fridge. So the chicken, the fish, etc. And then there was like an introductory card that was like, "Hi, welcome. Here's how this works. Here's some freebies." They gave me a calendar. Oh
yeah, they always do. Like on your first order, they always give you some random piece of something. I think I got like a wooden spoon from Gusto the first time I ordered.
Yeah, we got a wooden spoon from Gusto. Yeah, I can talk about that later. So we got a calendar, and I was like, "Well, I'm not going to use this." And then I got 2 very random things. I got a little tube of effervescent tablets that you can dissolve in water, that are like greens based. It's like green tea tablets that you dissolve in water and drink.
Oh.
Yeah, very weird. And then the other one, which is even weirder, is lavender spray for your pillows before you go to sleep, so that help you sleep.
Bizarre.
Very bizarre for a food delivery company, right? You wouldn't expect it. So anyway, so I opened it and I was like, okay, this card is telling me put all the stuff in the insulated bag in the fridge, and then the other bags just contain whatever, all the other unfridged bits. So, did what I had to do.
So packaging out of 10?
Packaging out of 10, I would give it a... I'm going to give it a 7 asterisk out of 10. All right.
Asterisk,
and I'm going to talk about the asterisk later.
Right.
So that was all good. Put all the stuff away. Done. Next, we come to portion sizes. All right. So I had ordered food for one person, and the amount of ingredients they gave me was not for one person.
Too much or too little?
The meats were definitely for one person, like the expensive stuff. The veg was like, so I had one recipe where I had to make, it was like sausage meatballs with mash and some other bits. They gave me like 3 big parsnips for my, what was meant to be like a side portion of mash. And I was
you
thinking,
made parsnip mash?
It was parsnip mash, man. Because
Wow.
remember, the vision of this company is all about healthiness, right?
Right. You can't use potatoes.
So it wasn't raw potatoes. They had to give me mash. It was all right, to be fair.
That sounds good.
But they gave me 3 parsnips, and I was thinking, this isn't even something where they gave you the amount of food they gave you because that was the minimum they could give, even though I selected it for one person.
Yeah, it's not like a recipe where you need a quarter of an onion and they give you an onion because it's just easier than
Exactly.
cutting an onion. Yeah, sure.
Exactly. So that was bizarre. They could have just given me one.
A portion size star rating number out of 10.
Portion size, apologies. Portion size, 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10 for
Isaac,
the
yeah,
portion
3 out of
size.
10.
Oof.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it was very easy to make that more accurate.
All right. What's up next?
Okay, up next is trueness to cooking time. Right, so is what I cooked, did what I cook take as long as the recipe said it would? And the answer is no. Double it, like you said.
Yeah.
Right. So I put in my notes. Took 20 minutes longer on average, but yeah, pretty much. I think it was a lot more than 20 minutes.
I hate this, man, because a lot of the time, what they'll do, some recipes that I think are very good will have you prepare all of the veg ahead of time and then begin making the meal. Recipes that try, because obviously a lot of these companies, they want to have the lowest number, right? They want to be like, you can make our meal in 8 minutes and be, it'll take no time at all. And so to do that, they will have you start making a recipe, and then 5 minutes into a recipe, they'll be like, okay, whilst your, I don't know, onions are caramelizing, go and peel 50,000 baby carrots, right? And it's like, you've not given me enough time, dog. Either my onions are going to burn or they're going to get cold in the time, right? So
there's mismatches, right?
Yeah,
exactly. And then I did encounter that a lot. It was expecting. It was almost as if they were expecting a second person to be cooking too.
Yeah.
And there wasn't. So it took a lot longer.
A second person cooking this meal for one.
Exactly.
Right.
Out of 10. Oh God, 2 again?
2 out of 10 on cooking time for Mindful Chef. Oh, okay.
2 out of 10. Yeah, it's not going well, Isaac. It's not going well. So ease of instructions. So instructions were average, right? There were some bits that confused me, and when I actually read them earlier today, I was like, oh, actually, no, that isn't as confusing. It's just worded weirdly. But I'd say bang average.
In the heat of the moment, when you're being rushed because it's taking longer than you think it's going to take, you can...
you need things to be just read out to you like you're
exactly.
a baby, man, honestly. Yeah, seriously.
You read the word saute while you're, trying to comprehend the rest of the recipe, and you're just like, what does that mean?
Honestly.
It falls apart.
So, yeah, ease of instructions. I would give it a 5 out of 10. The food was, as far as I'm concerned, pretty all right. It was average, right? Maybe slightly better than average. I would give the food taste a 6 out of 10. However, let me go back to the asterisk, right, on the packaging. Turns out, in these paper bags, there was stuff that also needed to be fridged.
Oh.
So each paper bag corresponded to a recipe. So the idea is you're meant to just open the paper bag and you got all the ingredients for a specific recipe there. When I eventually, took these paper bags out after a few days and opened them, pretty much all of the greens and veg was just black.
Oh,
right.
No.
And I was thinking, what? I was like, they've given me off food. And it was actually only when they decided they've done an advertising campaign on TV. So it was only when I actually saw a TV ad of theirs where I saw the people in the ad putting these other bags in the fridge too, that I was like, oh, that's what I was meant to do. But they didn't really make that clear, to be honest. It was almost assumed. So yeah, that was very bad. And, I feel like they should have communicated better the fact that I should have done that. And then finally, Isaac, is price.
The all-important factor, yes.
The all-important factor. So a lot of these food delivery companies price things per portion.
Yes.
On average, from what I saw from kind of Gusto and HelloFresh and stuff, the average price per portion is about £4 per person per meal. So £8 per meal. If you get a meal for 2 people, if you get 4 meals per week for 2 people, it's about £30 to £35 for a box. This, for one person, for 4 meals, £12 per portion. Isaac.
Is that an offer price or is that regular retail price?
So this was, I believe, God, what was it? I believe it was offer price.
It must be.
No, sorry. £12 per portion is regular retail price. I paid a bit less, right? So the box for one person for 4 meals was 50 quid, pretty much.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, hold on. Run me through that again.
So we were cooking for one person, right?
Yes.
So per portion of food, it was £12. So 4 meals, £12 per portion, £48 for the box.
Right. No, okay. I thought you were saying £12 for the 4 portions. That's what I was like, right.
£12, Isaac, per portion.
£12 per meal for one person.
I was thinking I could order, right? And it would be the same price.
You can get like a main menu at like, you can get like a main menu item at a restaurant for that price.
Exactly. So I was like, holy crap. I was like, what? Who are they marketing to? They're marketing to young, ultra health focused, wealthy
ultra
people,
wealthy,
right? So I got it at offer price, which I was fine with. I think I got like 25% off or something like that. I was very intrigued by it. It was still too expensive, man, but I was still intrigued by it because of the fact they did portions for one person. But really, most of the ingredients they gave me were for 2 people anyway. So yeah, price, Isaac, 1 out of 10, mate.
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
Oof. But can I also get a number for the selection range?
For the range of selections, oh yes. Not great. I give it a 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Okay,
so that's Mindful Chef. We're going to move to Gusto, right? So this was week 2. I drew in the help of the person I live with. I was like, hey, doing this experiment for probably what will be the podcast. It's also just an excuse for me to change my life up and eat foods that, I've not been eating every week for the last 4 months. Do you want to join me on food delivery boxes? Because there'll be introductory offers too. And he's like, yeah, of course. So went on Gusto. First of all, the selection from Gusto was really good. There was like 30 plus options. And then we decided for this next phase of the trial, so Gusto and HelloFresh, we'll try and like order similar foods. So we decided we'd order 2 meats or 2 chicken-based items, a halloumi-based item, and a like vegan item. So like a veganized version of something, right? So we did that. We found 4 things we liked on Gusto, ordered them, and 3 days later was our box. Our box arrived. Packaging, I would say, is also very good. One of the good things about Gusto is they kind of put all of the stuff that needs to go in the fridge outside of the brown bags.
Okay, yep.
So immediately you open the box and there's all this stuff there. And then also the 4 bags. But all of the stuff that's not in a bag goes in the fridge. Very easy to follow. Means you can just put the bags in the cupboard, not having to worry about anything. We got the free wooden spoon.
You love to see it.
Which was great. Yeah, add it to the collection. We also got a free chocolate bar. And it's from this rogue company, right? It was called Tony's Chocolonely. Right? We were looking at this like laughing. Like, what the hell is this? Turns out it's this very like sustainable focused chocolate company, right? That's kind of very mindful towards the chocolate farmers. And therefore I Googled the price and it's almost like £4 per bar. Which was insane. And we were like, God, as if Gusto's giving us this for free. And because we got an introductory offer too, which was something like 40% off. It's quite funny as well, the chocolate bar. You open a bar of chocolate and it's broken down into cubes, right?
Yep.
All of these cubes are uneven. It was like all these weird shapes, and it's supposed to represent the fact that there's no equality in chocolate farming.
Okay.
And we were just there like, okay, fair, but also it makes it really hard to share. Nice chocolate though, nice chocolate. But anyway, packaging, Isaac, 8 out of 10.
Selection?
Selection, I'd also give it an 8 out of 10.
Ooh, very high.
One thing to note about the packaging, which was very impressive, is the sheer lack of plastic. Everything was paper-based almost. That could be. And the cold storage for the fridge items, which would usually be in like a foam or like a kind of insulation wool layer, right, from the other two companies, was cardboard, like really thick cardboard.
Oh.
So the cold storage compartment was easily recyclable. So that scored like good points for that, right? That's why the score is so high, because pretty much the entire shebang was recyclable. Portion size, the most impressive out of the three, easily. If something just needed like a garnish of coriander, they gave you freaking 5 grams of coriander, man. Like 3 stalks of coriander with the leaves on. Like the portions of stuff that they gave you was pretty much bang on. I think at the end of the week, there was like half a lime and like half an onion of wastage. Like everything got used. So that was brilliant. I would give that a 9 out of 10. There's pretty much no way they could have improved unless they chopped the stuff for us.
Gave you 3/4 of a lime.
Exactly.
And half an onion. Right, okay.
Exactly.
That's, wow.
Yeah. And next have we got trueness to timings.
Cooking time, yep.
Yeah. Very, very close, oddly. If something said, so we made a vegan chili, right? So it was tofu based, like a vegan chili. And it was like, yeah, it's going to take you 15 minutes. And we were like, holy crap. Like, that's amazing. That's not going to take us 15 minutes. 15 minutes later, man, freaking eating vegan chili.
Wow.
It was amazing. I think that the fact that there was 2 of us helped. But there was also 2 of us for the HelloFresh, trial. And that took a bit longer than advertised. So, trueness to timings. I gotta say, 10 out of 10. I mean,
maximum.
I mean, unless I could deduct 1 point and give a 10 for something taking less than advertised, right? But for all intents and purposes, 10 out of 10. Then I believe we have ease of instructions.
Indeed.
Very clear. So I've actually got all of the examples of all these in front of me, as we speak. They have the exact amount of ingredients on one side for 2 people, and then they've got the amount that you need for 4 people in red.
Yep.
And so you just get everything out and then you flip it over and it's like, just put this in, put this in, put this in, put this in. Very, very clear. Also, it's quite nice. It tells you the number of portions of your 5 a day for veg that you get and like the usual nutritional information, which all 3 gave, to be fair. So ease of instructions, I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10, 8.5 if I want to go in between. Like, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow. Very good. And then taste, do we have?
Yep, taste is next.
Taste, yeah, really, really tasty. So if I can remember correctly, we made the vegan chili. We did halloumi wraps. We did fish.
I do love halloumi, man. It's good
great,
stuff,
man. Halloumi wraps.
So nice.
We did that with HelloFresh as well. Halloumi wraps, they bang.
Yeah.
We did fish and chip tacos, which was quite interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah, like homemade, like breaded fish, put in the oven. Homemade chips, also in the oven. Put them in tacos, eat them. Great.
Did you have to do I like breaded foods, but every time you order a breaded food like that, it's always, you got to get your egg, mix that in, you got to get 3 plates out. 1 plate for flour, 1 plate for egg wash, 1 plate for breading. And then it's usually get your fish or your chicken, whatever it is, coat it in flour, take it out the flour, put it in egg, coat it in egg, take it out the egg, put it in breading, coat it in breading. Rinse and repeat every time.
If I remember correctly, which I don't think I need to, because I might actually have the recipe here. Oh no, I think it might be the only one out of these that I threw away. That's a shame. It didn't require egg wash. It was just
really?
Put it straight in the breadcrumb mix.
I just remember making a little while back, a few years back, I was making a recipe for my family, right? So it was 6 people, and it was a breaded prawn dish, and so I had to individually bread these prawns. It was prawn rough. Into flour, into egg wash, breaded onto a plate, and again and again and again, and then you got to pan fry them. They don't all fit in one pan, so you got to do it in batches, and it's just could be a nightmare, man.
Top tip, Isaac, that I've developed a method for this. I use Tupperware containers for this.
You shake it.
Yeah, I put the whole thing and I slap the lid on. I just shake it.
Yeah.
And it makes life so much easier. It's great.
Even with the egg wash, right?
Even with the egg wash. Like shaking it around. Glug, glug, glug. Honestly, amazing. So yeah. Then I believe we come to taste out of 10. I'd give it a 7.5. Yeah.
7.5.
7.5. Yeah, like it was very good. It's obviously not like restaurant quality, right? But yeah, I would put that as definitely above average. It was very tasty. Then what do we have next?
Price.
Introductory offer was amazing. I think we were paying something along the lines of like £7 each. The box was like 15 quid or something like that. But I'm going to base the price on like the RRP, right?
Yeah.
Which was £35, £17.50 per person, which works out to, I think it's about £4.20-ish or £4.50-ish per portion per person. I think that's quite fair.
A little bit of a mismatch, of course, like versus £4.50, of course, sounds a lot better than £12 per person. Obviously, the £12 was just for one person.
Exactly.
And Mindful Chef does get cheaper for two people.
So, yeah, actually.
But it's still more expensive.
Good point, because I did check the prices on Mindful Chef for two people, and something that was 12 quid went up to about 14 to £15 per portion.
It's a £7 per portion.
Yeah, so it was almost double, I'd say, Mindful Chef versus Gusto and HelloFresh. I would say price, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10.
6.5 out of 10. All right. And we move to our final contestant here, Nick. The Goliath that is HelloFresh.
They are huge, yes, and they've been in the game for a very long time. So, HelloFresh, best introductory offer by far. 60% off your first box, and then like 30% off your next 3 afterwards. Again, we found 4 recipes that we like the look of. 1 seafood-based, 1 meat-based, and then 1 halloumi-based, 1 vegan-based. Their selection was, wow, like they had a lot of selection. Like you can tell that they're catering to a lot of people. There was so many varieties. Actually, like Gusto, you could pick more premium options. You could also pick quicker options and stuff like that. I would say that it's very evenly matched with Gusto, maybe slightly better, right? So what did I give Gusto out of 10?
You gave it an 8.
Okay, I'm going to give HelloFresh a 9.
9 for
I'm
selection.
a 9 out of 10, yeah. Box came, opened it up. A lot more plastic than Gusto. And no freebies.
Oh.
Yeah.
No spoon, no expensive mismatched chocolate, no nothing.
Exactly. So
0 out of 10.
0 out of 10. Awful. Wouldn't buy again. But like, fair enough, right? Giving us 60% off the box. I wouldn't expect them to throw that many freebies in. So what did I give the other two?
You gave it Mindful Chef a 7 and you gave Gusto an 8.
Oh, right. So I'm going to give them 7. I'm going to give them 7 too. I'm going to give HelloFresh a 7 as well.
Portion size.
Right. Definitely not as good as Gusto, right? So let's say you needed coriander for a recipe. They gave you like a supermarket, like 30-gram bag of coriander. Like it's like the smallest you'd be able to get at a shop.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Yeah, whereas Gusto, like they gave you the exact amount you needed, even if, it was less than you actually able to buy from a supermarket.
And it might be a little confusing to some people listening, like why you would downpoint somebody for giving you more than what you paid for. But I think part of the appeal of a service like this is that they give you exactly what you need, right?
Absolutely.
Like you can go to the supermarket and buy 30 grams of coriander, but if you only need 4 for your recipe, you're going to throw 26 grams away or leave it in your fridge for a month, right? Part of the appeal of this kind of system is that they give you like exactly what you need and nothing more, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to buy a family pack of chicken as well as like a family pack of coriander and then like 19 onions and all that jazz. You can just get exactly what you need delivered, make the food, and it's done.
Exactly, Isaac, exactly. And, I've got like a load of parsley in my fridge that's going off because it was like some that was left over from a recipe.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you don't want, right? You want exact portions. So that was not as good. I gave Gusto a 9, was it? And I gave Mindful Chef a 3.
You did, yeah.
So, I'm going to give HelloFresh a 7 out of 10. Because it was good, right? Definitely good portion sizes. They didn't overdo much, but some things were. There was too much of some things, which is, it's fine, but it wasn't as good as Gusto. Next up, do we have timings?
Yep.
So, not as good as Gusto. I would add approximately 10 minutes to a recipe against what they advertise. I think that might be slightly skewed towards the fact that we made a risotto and risottos just are like famous for taking forever.
Yeah.
So we were like trying to cook this risotto, and I actually did it to the timing without tasting it, which was a bad idea from me, because then I tasted it. It was the rice was slightly less cooked.
Al dente.
Yeah, very albite. It's like ultra al dente. But yeah, so I would give True to Timings. What did I give the other two? I gave Gusto a 10, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
And I gave Mindful Chef a
2.
I'm going to give HelloFresh a 6.5.
6.5 for cooking time.
Mm-hmm.
Ease of instructions.
Right. Generally quite easy, but so here's an advantage of HelloFresh against Gusto. This was something I was going to mention at the end, but actually I'll mention it now. With HelloFresh, you can get portion sizes for between 2 and 5 people. So 2 and 4. So 2 people, 3 people, or 4 people. With Gusto, it's only 2 or only 4.
Right, there's no 3-person option.
There's no 3. Actually, I think HelloFresh might have a 5 as well.
I think they have. I think HelloFresh have like a 2, 3, 4, but the 4 can also double as like a 2 adult, 3 kids.
Yeah,
is what they advertise it as opposed to 4 adults.
Exactly. So you might be limited with Gusto in that regard, but because HelloFresh offers more options, the area on the recipe cards for HelloFresh where it says how much ingredients you should use, all of the numbers are slapped together. So it's like so it lists the ingredients in a column, and then it's like 1 person, 2 person, 3 person as the rows at the top. And then you've got this massive data. It's like you're looking at an Excel spreadsheet, right?
Right.
So it's quite, it takes quite a glance to figure out how much of each thing you need.
Right.
And when they've not given you the actual exact amounts of ingredients, then you do have to look at that, right? So you don't accidentally put too much of something in. But the rest of the instructions generally were quite good, apart from the fact that in one of the recipes that required tortillas, they were like, put them in the microwave and heat them up for 30 seconds, which I think is quite fair to heat some tortillas up. But in some of the other recipes, it was like the very first step of the recipe is preheat your oven to 180 degrees. So I'm like, okay.
And they only use the oven for 2 minutes at the end of the recipe.
For 3 minutes. We were like, what the hell? So we actually spotted that before we turned the oven on. Because usually we're like, okay, instructions say turn oven on. So I was like, okay, I'm assuming like the chicken will get cooked in the oven or something, right? But then I read through and I was like, hey, hold on a second. When the hell's the oven being used? Turns out you're preheating the oven for like 15 minutes, like 10 to 15 minutes, to heat some tortillas up for 2 minutes. I'm like, that's so wasteful. Ovens use a hell of a lot of electricity.
The number of times that I've seen like a 40-minute recipe start by saying preheat the oven, and the only thing you have to cook in the oven is right at the end of the recipe is something they need to stop doing.
They need to stop doing that.
Horrendously
It's
wasteful.
Really, really wasteful.
My oven does not take that long to preheat, guys. It's all good.
Exactly. And I'm like, there's also an alternative method of cooking these, and it's like you'd slap them in the microwave for 30 seconds and you sort it. So yeah, I would give cooking instructions maybe a 6.5.
6.5.
Taste, really good, actually. Like, really every dinner we had, we were like, holy crap, that's good. We were like, like, genuinely
best of the
amazing.
bunch?
I would say edges Gusto. Gusto was very good.
Right.
But I'd say HelloFresh edged it. So I gave Gusto a 7.5, was it? I'm going to give HelloFresh an 8.5.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say like 7.6.
Yeah. Somewhere in that range.
And then price.
I was considering going with 8, but we'll go 8.5. And then finally price, yeah. So the introductory offer was extremely good. Like, I'd give it like a 9 or a 10 based on that. However, thinking more long term, the average price of a box is about £35, same as Gusto. But I know that they do a lot of deals, HelloFresh, especially when you threaten to cancel. Because I used HelloFresh a few years ago. And they're like, oh, we're going to give you 50% off your next 4 boxes. So I feel like if you want some money off HelloFresh and you're like, you've already done the introductory stuff, just call them and say you're going to cancel. And they'll give you more money off because, forget customers that are loyal, right?
Yeah.
What did I give Gusto for price?
6.5.
I would give HelloFresh a 7.
7.
Just for that edge in taste. So yeah, and then I guess just to add additional observations. HelloFresh was quite good because it warns you about spices in some places. So if it said, for example, add chili flakes now, it kind of came with an asterisk that was, hey, by the way, if you're with kids or you like slightly less spice, go easy, which was potentially useful in some places.
Whenever Nick saw that, he put in double the amount.
I was like freaking pouring them in, and we were like, "Holy crap, that's hot!" And we were like, it did tell us, to be fair, to go easy if we're like concerned about that.
Mm-hmm. So I'm interested, Nick. I've tabulated the results.
Mm-hmm.
I have an Excel spreadsheet open.
Good.
I have averaged the score amongst the 7 categories that we have. Those being selection, range, packaging, portion size, cooking time, ease of instructions, taste, and price. I want to know, Nick, what was your favorite before I read the numbers?
Yeah, cool. So the question that I would ask myself is, if I was to order one again, what would I go for? I think I would order a Gusto box again, Isaac. And I'm assuming that did the best.
So in third place, with an average score of 4 out of 10 across all 7 categories, is Mindful Chef. Really being let down by the price and the off cooking times, making up a bit of ground with the packaging and the taste. In second place is indeed HelloFresh with 7.3 out of 10 on average.
Okay.
Doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Really doing well on the taste, best of the best, and their selection, really helping them there. Let down a little bit, I guess, on the cooking time and the ease of instructions, but for the most part, very good. And then in first place, Nick, with an average of 8.2, you have Gusto, Nick, who are killing it on the cooking time, bang on, as well as on the ease of instructions, only let down ever so slightly by the price. And yeah, so you bang on there, Nick. Gusto is your favorite by the numbers.
Extra observations, actually. Gusto, so all 3 of them very easy to cancel, which is good.
There's nothing worse than you click like cancel and it's like, oh, call this number or like,
exactly right, which I have experienced in the past with some things, and it's just a nightmare, right? They make it so hard to cancel.
They'll be like, send us some snail mail, with your account number,
fill out a form. You have to we'll send you a check. We'll take out your next payment. We'll send you a check as a refund.
Send us a copy of your ID and
it's awful.
Picture your dog. Yeah, it's horrible.
Exactly. The nice thing about Gusto was they were like, yeah, fine, no problem. If you just want to order a box at any time without entering back into a subscription, go for it. Here's an option.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is great, because the way that I cook is there might just be a week where I've not gone to the supermarket or I just want a change. So I can just quickly order a box, pick my meals, boom, done. Also, their website was the slickest. It just appealed to me the most. The most modern.
Just keeps on going.
I know. And here's the kicker. This is where we were like, okay, yeah, that was really nice.
Here's the kicker. This episode is sponsored by Gusto. It's not. It's not.
I promise.
Although Gusto, heads up.
The day before your food's delivered, they email you with the sell-by dates of your meals.
So you can choose the order of your meals to eat the ones that...
Exactly. We chose the order of what we ate based on what went off first. So it was like, this meal's used by date is on Wednesday, this meal's used by date is on Friday, and then these 2 used by dates are on Sunday. So we were like, oh, well, there you go, then that's the order we'll have it in. That was really nice. That was absolutely brilliant, because with the other 2, you have to kind of check the meats and kind of be like, okay, this goes off first, then this goes off, and then kind of plan ahead. Freaking Gusto, they just email you. They're like, yeah, this is the dates for when your stuff will go off. Go for it. And that was when I was like, okay, yeah, this is good. The tech is good, right? The tech is good. So there we go. That's been my 3-week experiment, Isaac.
It's a very interesting insight, Nick.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been good. I would do it again, man. Would do it again.
Yeah.
It's been nice to change things up as well, cooking-wise.
Could you imagine if this was actually an ad for Gusto?
They don't have to be paying us a lot, man. I want free freaking Gusto for like my life for like 10 years, right? For this Gusto. For the 3 people that might not buy it based on listening to this.
Moving on to everyone's favorite topic or segment of the podcast, Nick. Today, we're recording this on February 17th. Nick, a few days after Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and the day after Pancake Day, Isaac.
Yeah, did you have pancakes yesterday, man?
I had pancakes yesterday. It was great.
As did I, yeah. It was good stuff. Quick detail, what did you put on your pancakes, man?
Right, so First of all, made pancakes from scratch. We didn't use like a pre-made powder. It was like flour, eggs, milk, etc. I used my protein shaker to mix it up. Yeah. Which is quite funny. And then toppings, Nutella and golden syrup.
Yep. At the same time or
maple
separately?
syrup even. My bad.
Like simultaneously or in separate batches?
So what I did was I did separate. So one with just Nutella, one with just golden syrup or maple syrup, and then one with both.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, it was good, man. And we rolled it up like crepes and then like used fork and knife to eat them. Yeah, they were freaking good, man. I'm not gonna lie, I had pancakes for dinner last night, Isaac.
Yeah, well, I did as well. Like, again, for me, when I picture pancakes, I know a lot of people have different ideas of pancakes. At least on Pancake Day, I am thinking kind of like pseudo crepes, right? They're thin, they're flat, and they're rollable, right? They're not like the little kind of like stodgier, like thicker pancakes, or not stodgy, but fluffier pancakes, right?
Exactly.
That you would sometimes like think of like for breakfast or whatever.
Yeah.
But I had the same one, these big flat, almost crepes, but not quite. I imagine when I think crepe, I think big, right?
Yes.
I imagine crepes as being quite large and then folded or something like that. But anyway, I digress. I tried a new topping, Nick, for the first time this year. One that I'd not had before, and with a product that I actually didn't know existed. And it's based on a product that I also have not tried. And that is Biscoff.
Oh, okay.
They have this
Biscoff spread.
Spread, yeah. For one, I'd not tried the biscuits, so I had no idea what I was getting into. But I went to the store and they had like both crunchy and smooth Biscoff, right? Which so essentially the idea is they make these biscuits, which again I always struggle to explain what a biscuit is to a US audience. A cookie? It's not a cookie, but it's like
that's the best way to explain it.
It's a sweet, crumbly biscuit.
Yeah.
Right? That they break down and turn into a paste, right? They mix it with some oil or something. It's kind of like a Nutella style paste, but it's biscuit flavored.
Yeah.
I took some of that.
Delicious, by the way.
I spread it onto my pancake, Nick. Obviously, my crepe pancake hybrid, which obviously it melts a little bit because the pancake's warm. You roll it up, Nick. You get your knife and fork out. You take a bite, Nick. It is delicious.
That sounds amazing.
It might be one of the best pancake toppings I've ever tried, man.
Wow.
It is actually incredible. I also had a pancake with the traditional lemon and sugar, Nick. I'm a big fan.
Of course,
of lemon and
do
sugar
that this year actually, but yeah, I'm not unobliged to them. I don't mind them at all.
No, I kick things off with the classic, but then after I tried the Biscoff, man,
Biscoff.
It is so good. I highly recommend it.
You got crunchy, right? You're a crunchy boy, aren't you?
I've actually a few weeks ago, I bought the Biscoff for the first time.
Sure.
Like a week ago, right? And unfortunately at the time they only had crunchy, so I bought crunchy. But then yesterday, before I had my pancakes, I bought smooth. So I have 2 jars of this stuff in the cupboard.
Of course you do.
I actually had the smooth on the pancakes.
Okay,
but they're both very good.
Yeah. It sounds delicious. Yeah, I really like Biscoffs, the biscuits. The spread sounds great if it tastes like the biscuits.
It's so good, man. Like I did not know what I was getting into, but it is very good. I would recommend it. Not a sponsor, but again, Biscoff. If you want to hit me up, lifetime supply. Especially in pancakes because it melts. You know, I don't know what I'd use it for normally. Like outside of pancakes, I don't know what I'd use this product for.
I guess whatever you'd use Nutella for, right? Would you put it on toast?
Maybe. I guess it's a little weird putting like biscuit flavor on toast, but I guess you could. Yeah. But I don't know, when it melts and it's on the pancake, very good. GOC seal of approval on that one, Nick.
Sounds seal like it, man.
But today, Nick, this February 17th, is Random Acts of Kindness Day.
Oh.
Yeah. You done any random acts of kindness today?
No, I've not, Isaac, because I've been stuck inside. I mean, I did go out to get a Costa earlier. And to be fair, I did get a Costa for who I live with. So, I mean, it was a random act of kindness. We would do it for each other all the time, but we won't focus on that bit.
It's also My Way Day.
Oh, what? So, as in like the opposite of random acts of kindness?
I think so, yeah.
Interesting.
The website I'm on says My Way Day was created in celebration of the wonderful phrase, "It's my way or the highway." The history of My Way Day is unclear, but it's believed to have been inspired by key events in the world happening because someone had a bold idea and they weren't afraid to go through with it.
Interesting. Okay.
There you go. That's, like me, Nick. I wasn't afraid to break the mold when it comes to pancakes and spread
it's true.
some Biscoff on there, Nick, to break my my traditions. And lo and behold, Nick, I think I'm definitely the first person to have tried this. No one else has ever placed Biscoff on pancakes before, Nick, and I'm pretty sure that I've cracked it, man.
I think you can patent that, Isaac. Yeah, patent it, sell it. The idea.
I'm gonna make millions.
Exactly. License it out. If someone else wants to do it, I have to freaking give you a cut.
Exactly. Tomorrow, Nick, is Drink Wine Day.
Oh, what is it? What day is it tomorrow? Thursday. Oh, yeah. We're doing YouTube tomorrow, so if I sound a bit slurry, Isaac, I'm sorry. I'm just keeping to the theme of the day.
It's also Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day tomorrow as well.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. Can't think of anything. Oh, I think I'd throw up.
It's also Battery Day tomorrow.
Of course it is.
And on top of that, it's also Random Act of Kindness Week, Nick, from the 14th to the 20th.
Oh, dear.
That's when you zoom out further and it's actually Random Act of Kindness year.
Yeah. Every year is Random Act of Kindness year, Isaac. According to maybe, like, I don't know, like the UN or something like that.
Oh. Friday gets you International Tug of War Day.
Oh, okay.
Absolute madness.
Well,
Love Your Pet Day on the 20th.
Yeah.
You could ignore them every other day, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Cherry Pie Day. I've never tried cherry pie.
No. Sounds like a Bakewell tart, though.
I think it's more of an American thing, right?
Yeah.
Also, next week, Nick, after Random Act of Kindness weekends, it's Real Bread Week. Oh,
what as opposed to fake bread? What's Real Bread Week?
I assume real bread means, like, you know, bread that's not like mass manufactured, maybe bread that's like, you know,
like,
baked.
Artisan. Artisan bread.
Artisan bread. Yeah.
Oh.
The stuff that I imagine they sell on every street corner in France. But
yes, exactly.
I don't know. It's also Handcuff Day on Friday as well. If you're into that kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I bet the police get a lot of work.
Yeah.
But yeah. So those are the upcoming days. If you're interested in celebrating
well, there you
any
go.
of those, Nick. I expect you to have ice cream for breakfast tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I won't make it to the recording session, Isaac. I'm going to be like, I would just be dead.
You're going to be plastered on wine.
Yeah, I'm going to be like
covered in ice cream.
Food comed from the ice cream, freaking drunk off the wire, like snoring loudly in my desk chair.
If you don't know, Nick and I stream every Monday and Thursday. You can check those out both on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube, also if you're on Twitch if you want to check that out as well. Thank you for listening to us ramble for this episode of the podcast. We'll be back very shortly. Hopefully it won't be 3 months between this podcast and the next one, but no promises, Nick.
No promises. All right, no promises.
But yeah, any last words, Nick, for the people at home?
Stay safe. Stay partying. Oh, actually, no, that makes that's the opposite.
You can party, but party alone.
Party alone. Stay safe. Stay happy. Stay hydrated as well, as we forget to sometimes. And have a good evening.
And this podcast is proudly sponsored by HelloFresh. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.